Welcome to the first of what I can only assume will be a long-running and successful series called Pyrion Flax's Late Review, and the late review this time is Far Cry 3. I'm about halfway through it, picked it up in the sale. So far removed is this game from the original Far Cry that it really should be called like Spring Break Extreme Animal Simulator. You play a kid called Jason who's like a popped collar dude, kind of frat boy dude. Turns to local wildlife. It's the most hazardous island ever. I don't know why you'd go on vacation there. You can't take a leak without getting mauled by something. But there are, to date, no gigantic mutant monsters on this island the way there were in Far Cry 1, which is kind of a shame. It's a lot more like Far Cry 2, but this time it's a lot more fun. And you're not sick all the fucking time. Now, the point of the game is to gradually inch your way across the island, and you have to kill all the black people on the island. I'll just let that sink in. For those of you who've played the game, try to find fault with that statement. I'm not even kidding. This is literally the most racist game I've ever played. I've not killed a white dude in the game yet. Just black people. Every time you meet a white person, they're falling over themselves to help you because they're so desperately outnumbered by, oh, help the black people. So your friends, all white. The white professor, he's white. The white man who wears white and is a secret agent. I mean, come on. I'm not sure. I'm not saying the Ubisoft set out to make a game where a brave white man heroically combats the white woman enslaving, drug-dealing, gonorific black people who've taken over the island. But that's what they've done. And anyway, you're there on holiday, your buddies get kidnapped by this drug-addled local warlord who keeps the island under an iron fist. A fist so iron that all it takes is a dude with zero combat experience, a tattoo, and a .45 caliber pistol to turn the tide of the whole battle. And no wonder, because as you'll see, both sides in this conflict are out of their fucking minds. On your side, you have the Rakyat, led by the only apparently decent black dude in the whole game, Dennis. And Dennis looks a lot like Spike Lee, but is extremely African. I don't know why. An African guy that looks like Spike Lee is the leader of a bunch of Pacific Islanders, but he is. And without knowing you, or knowing anything about you, Dennis immediately does everything he can to help you. And in fact, he knows your destiny, and he knows you're special. And did I mention that Dennis looks like Spike Lee? He really, really does. And this is important and interesting, because Spike Lee himself spoke about a character that white scriptwriters shoehorn into movies as a sort of expositionary figure called, this is Spike Lee's terminology, the magical Negro. Okay? Dennis is a prime example of this type of character. What you have is people like the Oracle in the Matrix movies, Bagger Vance in, or whatever Will Smith's character was called in the film, The Legend of Bagger Vance, and basically they sort of these learned, knowledgeable, semi-mystical figures. The magical Negro is what Spike Lee called it, and they are there to guide the white person to their ultimate destiny of dominion over all things, which is of course what black people, that's their entire raison d'etre. Will Smith, like I said, Legend of Bagger Vance is a great example. The games journalist John Walker at Rock Paper Shotgun, which is one of my favourite websites, he's talked about this element of Far Cry 3 already, so go and read his review. It's much cleverer than anything I could say. Now, like I said, I'm not saying the Ubisoft are a bunch of racists. I'm almost certain they're not. I don't think they're racist any more than the makers of movies that use the magical Negro stereotype are racist. I'm sure they think of themselves as being these liberal-minded, cool, left-leaning dudes. What they've actually done is produce a really cliched plot with cliched characters. So it's probable that they've just fallen into the same traps that all those movies make, of making foreigners and black people either helpless or evil. They're a product of their environment. I just hope that for Far Cry 4, they'll understand why people have been less impressed with this element of the game and maybe try and address that. But hey, anyway, the Rakyat themselves are a collection of light brown people, and they're the most detestable, ugly, worthless bunch of beach bums you'll ever meet. Generally, they live in these horrible shacks. They're all middle-aged. The women are ugly, the men are even uglier. So far the missions I've had for them have involved mopping up their domestic disputes. A young couple elopes and get killed by Komodo dragons. Woman wants me to spy on her gay husband. A drunk old dude gets me to collect herbs so he can get high. And a woman wants me to shoot the ground at her husband's feet to scare the shit out of him. It's like, I mean, it's like being social services. And these are the good guys. Naturally, they're completely useless. And so it was down to me, the white man, to zoom in and save the day. They wear blue uniforms. They have a half-assed army who drive around in jeeps to continually break down. They can't fix them. Generally speaking, they'll die to the first pack of wild goats they stumble across. They're useless. And incredibly, despite the fact that you are single-handedly liberating their island, they're the most ungrateful bunch of shits you've ever met. You take an enemy base, they come roaring around the corner 2 seconds later and leap out of their jeep saying, "This is all me, and we got this, bro." They don't say thanks. They don't say, "Dude, that was awesome." And before you know, all they do is they turn to you and say, "You see that notice board? There's a few more jobs you could do on there for us." Like, fuck you! Are you kidding me? I detest them. But they're not the bad guys. The bad guys are a bunch of myopic, clap-infected ne'er-do-wells who are so stupid they deserve to be put down. If it wasn't for my inherent white guilt, I'd feel bad about killing a bunch of brothers, but that's basically what it is. You know, it's classic colonialism all over again, but this time with black people. Trust me, I know about this, okay? I come from a country that conquered everyone and forced them to play cricket. I mean, we are history's true monsters, the English. I'm not even kidding. The bad guys in Far Cry 3 are a collection of West Indians and Africans. They handily all wear red, and they never stop talking. They're also so blind, you can creep up to within touching distance as long as you stand in or near a fern or a small shrub. And that's whilst carrying an RPG, flamethrower, 50 animal skins, an assault rifle, a customized shotgun, a huge collection of plants, and enough high explosive to recreate Hiroshima 3 times over. Naturally, you kill the dude with a knife, but it's nice to have the backup. You level up, you get some ink done, and you become more mystical. I know tattoos are popular, but it pisses me off. Despite killing literally hundreds of men as well in all the cutscenes, you're still just a scared kid called Jason who says, oh, please, I just want to get my friends back. Oh, I'm kind of out of my depth here. No, you just killed 5 men with a knife. And then he blew up their buddies with an RPG. And I wrestled a fucking alligator to death underwater. Why am I still scared? The other bad guy in this game is Mother Nature. And she's a real bitch. Just when you're preparing to launch your attack on the enemy stronghold, a bunch of dingoes turn up, try and kill you. Or a pig will go like, and you'll shit your pants and unleash hell. Strangely, no insects in the game. I haven't seen one mosquito. Which is fine, because I fucking hate mosquitoes. Anyway, this game... It's got a few other dumb things, you know, like you'll be in the middle of a fight and there'll be a herb and you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, is that elderflower? Let me just take a clipping of that to make into a potion that lets me breathe underwater. And you stoop in to collect it while you're like explosions making like rustling your clothes. In general, I say it's a fun game, a lot better than the other Far Cry games. Also dumb as a bag of rocks. I award it 5 out of 10 on the P-Flax scale. Some of those points deducted for racist under and overtones. Overall, I would say worth picking up in the sale and kind of a laugh. But yeah, that's it. Review ends.